Hey, everybody, I'm Scott Wikle. You're listening to My Kind of Country. Thank you so much for joining us on a Monday night. My special guest has got a brand new album out on Heart of Texas Records. And boy, I'll tell you, not only is it great country music, but he's got some pretty fantastic heavyweight special guests on this project. We're going to talk about that and play some of these great songs for you tonight. It is a pleasure to welcome Joe Rucker back to My Kind of Country. Joe, how are you tonight?
Hey Scott, I'm doing just fine. Trying to beat this Tennessee heat, but fall is coming, so it'll be here before you know it.
That's for sure. No kidding. Well, before we talk about your album, I got more pressing matters to ask you about. You were just down in Texas here, and I got to find out, did you find some cool records while you were down there?
Well, I actually did on my way home. I had to fly out of Austin to fly back to Nashville, so I was in a little rental car, and so I drove into Austin, and there's a couple of record stores there that I'll have to get with you about. But I found a couple of things. I do know that I got a double David Houston record. It was a kind of like a greatest hits type of album.
Nice.
And it was it's like he re-recorded some of his hits, but it was cool. I've never seen a double album on David Houston, so I picked up one of those, and I got an album on Tony Douglas, His and Hers, that old album. Actually got a better copy of it than one I'd had years ago out on the Sims label. So found some interesting things in Austin. So
awesome.
If you get down that way, you'll have to check those stores out. I'll provide you with the names, location.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're heading down there in October, so I'm anxious to check out some of those stores, and so is Merritt. Of course, she's got the vinyl bug like we do, so we love to go digging for vinyl.
That's so awesome.
Absolutely. Well, buddy, thank you, first of all, for sending me your new album, and I had a chance to listen to every cut on here. It's fabulous, as I knew it would be. Heart of Texas Records, hillbillyhits.com, and Joe's website is joeruckermusic at .wixsite.com. We will have all that information on our Facebook page for you. And 14 songs on this project and some heavy hitters. It's the duet sessions, Taking a Walk with Friends. Joe Rucker on Heart of Texas Records. Joe, first of all, tell me about how it came to be that you put this out with our buddy Tracy Pitcox on Heart of Texas.
Well, Tracy and I, we've known each other for a while now, and we have, sort of a mutual respect in the sense that we love, just like you do, the traditional side of country music, and we're just wanting to keep that alive as much as possible. And I think that after getting to know each other the last few years, he decided it would be a good thing, if I would come aboard and kind of be one of their representatives, and man, I'm so proud of that. I actually had 4 or 5 of these songs already in the can, and so I said, well, hey, I've got this idea for a duet album. I always wanted to do a full-blown duet record, and I said, I've got 4 or 5 songs already. Would you like to help me finish it? He said, yeah, we'd love to do that. And so I got with the great Justin Trevino, who I'm sure you know and love.
You betcha.
And he produced the project, as he does most things that are on Heart of Texas. And it was the first time, I had met Justin a couple of times, but this is the first time that I had gotten really to work very closely with him, and certainly have him produce a project on me. And man, we just hit it off. We work so well together because we think the same about music production, and also the songs, the type songs that we like when we're in terms of traditional country music.
Yeah.
So man, it was just a very cool experience, a very rewarding experience. I feel like I've sort of found my musical home, Heart of Texas, and I'm proud proud of the things that I've been able to do in my career here in Nashville, but I just feel at home at Heart of Texas, and everybody down there just treats me so well, and I'm just very grateful for Tracy Pitcox and what he does. And I would say anyone that ever gets the chance to go to Brady, Texas, needs to go experience that, because there's just such a love for traditional country music, and it's very apparent that he is one of the sort of saviors of that genre, trying to keep it alive. And that museum is just awesome down there, and the music down there is just great. The music's great all over Texas. It's just the place to be if you're a traditional artist, in my opinion.
Well, Joe, you've got a great album here, buddy, and you've got some heavy hitters on this project. And, of course, our dear mama Margie Singleton is on here, and Jeannie C. Riley and Leon Everett. I heard you on HD's show talking with Leon Everett here just the other day, too. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was cool. That was sort of an impromptu thing. HD just called me up and said, hey, Leon comes on every Wednesday. Would you join us this morning? And said, I'm not even going to tell him you're coming on. I'm kind of surprised. So it was fun to do that.
H.D. Ainsworth is one of the best in the business. I just, when I grow up, I want to be just like H.D. Ainsworth,
Well, I tell you what, he's got a love for it just like we do. And that's the key, Scott. I mean, all of us, I say it so much it seems redundant, but we're all a big family. Because we have the same goal, and we're trying to keep this music alive, and I think because of that, guys like you and HD, people can turn on their radio dial, or whether it's on the internet or on an FM station or a little AM station, it doesn't matter. They still have the opportunity to hear real traditional country music, and I'm just grateful for you guys for fighting a good fight.
Well, we're grateful for people like you that are putting out great music, and as I look down through the list of the songs here, one of the things I really love about you and your music is you don't always pull out the usual suspects when you do recordings. You find some fantastic songs. HD always calls me the king of the B-sides, and man, there's album tracks and there's songs that were never heard on the radio that are just fabulous. In some cases, better than the hits on the record. You know that too, and I love the fact that you've picked out some of those, and you've got just some fabulous songs that you've written, and just a fabulous selection. Tell me about some of the standout cuts for you on this album.
Well, one of my, you mentioned Leon Everett. He had a big hit with a song called "Shadows of My Mind," and that was just an obvious choice for me because I've been singing that song since I was a kid. So when I asked him to do it, I had already had that song in mind, but he just blurted out, "Hey, well, you could do Shadows of My Mind." So he was on the same page as me. It's just such a fun song to sing, and it made a perfect duet. So that's one of my favorites. There's a song that James O'Gwen had a hit on in the early '60s called "House of Blue Lovers," and Tony Booth joins me on that. And Tony and I both are James O'Gwen fans. You talk about one of the unsung heroes. George Jones even had said that he was heavily influenced by James O'Gwen and picked up some of his styling.
Oh yeah.
So and James is one of the folks that you don't hear too much about. His star was bright, but it didn't shine for too long as far as in the mainstream eye of country music. But he did have several hits there in the '60s, and "House of Blue Lovers" was one of them. And it's just one of those songs you talk about pulling out songs that people have forgotten about or are kind of obscure. Well, it was a hit, but it was a hit in the early '60s, and it's not been done too much that I could find.
Yeah.
So we wanted to do that and had fun with that. There are a couple of songs on there that I sang by myself that aren't duets. One is the song called "Lonely Wine," and I actually several people recorded that over the years. Even Roy Orbison had a cut on it, but the version that I learned that song from was from Stan Hitchcock.
Mm-hmm.
And Stan actually recorded it twice. He recorded it for Epic Records with Billy Sherrill, and then later on he was on a smaller label called Cinnamon Records, and he did a version, and we sort of not completely copied his version, but kind of did that same arrangement of that second later version that he had in the 70s with it. And man, what a fun song that is to sing. You just don't hear good songs like that. It's just the arrangement, everything that Justin did was spot on. And we've got twin fiddle tracks on there. This young gal named Grace Partridge down there in Texas. You'll be hearing a lot about her if you're not already, if you haven't already. But she played fiddle on my record. Man, just blows me away at the talent at such a young age of what she can do, and sings great too. So that's another one of my favorites. I wrote a little thing, a little inspiring piece called "Burning Brady Down." I say that facetiously, but it's a song. I pictured this scenario happening in Brady, Texas, maybe the Brady of the 1800s. You know, maybe just maybe a Texas Ranger came in off of the road and found that, you know, his gal had been running around on him, you know, and so he gets mad and just burns the whole town down, and that's literally what the song's about, you know.
I heard you do that on the live Facebook show at Heart of Texas too. I thought that was great.
But we just had fun with it. I wanted to put, you know, but because of my love and admiration for the people of Brady and Tracy Pitcox and everybody that's down there, I wanted to write a song with Brady in there. And even though it's a fictitious story, I just thought it was a fun thing to kind of burn the town down in my song, you know. And of course, I pray that never comes into fruition. Because we need Brady. But it was a fun song to write and sing anyway. So we've got that in there. Let's see. You know, Jeannie C. Riley came in and did a song with us. And,
that turned out so great. I know it's hard to get her in the studio anymore, but boy, I was so tickled to hear that one.
Yeah, it is. And, you know, of course, she was just, you know, she hasn't sung. She quit singing several years ago. And people don't realize this, but she's actually, I can't remember if it's the left side or the right side. One side of her vocal cords is completely paralyzed. But she still sounds, you know, really good. I mean, you know, you can definitely tell it's Jeannie C. Riley, and she's right on pitch. And so I was just so grateful that she was willing to come out and do that for me. And that's what Eddie Stubbs used to call a deep catalog song. That was just an album track on one of her MGM albums. And I was searching for songs that I felt we could do, she and I could do as a duet, and I just love the sentiment of that song, Without You, and what it had to say, and it just came across so great, you know, and getting there in the studio with her and being able to sing it with her, thinking about her friendship over the years and what it's meant to me, made it all the more special. And everybody that's heard it just has fallen in love with that song. So she jokes about it not sounding good, but I tell you, everybody loves it, and they
Absolutely.
love her, and her personality comes through, which makes it all the more better.
You bet.
And then we had a song that I fell in love with back in 2012. A fellow Heart of Texas artist, Diane McCall, wrote a song with Justin Trevino called Us,
Yeah.
and she put it out on her Heart of Texas record. And I have always heard that song as a duet. And so I approached her with that last year and told her, I said, this would make a great duet song. And she thought for a minute. She said, it would. I never thought of that, but it would. And so we kind of traded lines like we were singing to each other, like in a relationship, the man always blames the woman and the woman always blames the man. Somewhere, usually, the truth lies in the middle. But it came off really good. It's a lot of people's favorite song on the record. It's certainly one of my favorites.
Absolutely. A lot of talent in that McCall family.
Great songs. And we pulled in some of the songs that we had in the can. The great Hank Lachlan and I did a duet that I recorded many years ago, and I had put it out on a little label before, but it didn't really get much traction, so I wanted to put it on this record. And it's a song that Jim Reeves and Hank wrote on the airplane coming back from one of the very first RCA overseas tours.
Oh, wow.
To some of the Army bases in Germany. And it's called For Just a Little While Tonight. And we got Jason Coleman, Floyd Kramer's grandson, to come in and do all the slip note piano work on that.
Nice.
So I'm honored to have that on there. My late friend, Mr. Jim Glazer, and I did a song called Happy Hour Blues. I'm so proud to have that on there. And then, of course, the other Hank Lachlan, Hank Adam Lachlan, which is Hank Lachlan's son, he wrote the title track to this song, Taking a Walk, to title track to the album. And that's a song he wrote for me specifically many years ago when I was having some personal issues, starting to go through the divorce process. He wrote that song for me. And
wow.
It was way back, Scott, when we still were putting things on cassette tapes.
Oh, yeah.
And I had it on the cassette tape, and I fully intended on recording it someday. And it got thrown in a pile of tape. And when Tracy and I agreed to do the record, I'm thinking, that is the perfect shuffle song.
Mm-hmm.
But it took me probably a month digging around and all the you know how we are and how we collect all this stuff. I never throw anything away.
Oh, yeah.
But I had to get my old Walkman out and just go through probably 150 cassette tapes. So I finally found that tape, and it was still good, and I was able to make an updated work tape on it and send it to Justin to do the track. But I'm so glad, so thrilled. And then Hank Adam, who sounds almost exactly like his dad,
yeah, he does,
came in and did the harmony track on that. So it's a fun record, Scott. I had a blast doing it, and man, I can't thank Tracy Pitcox enough. And I hope everybody will, grab a copy. You can get a hard copy at hillbillyhits.com, and it will be out on streaming services here in about 2 or 3 weeks, from what I understand, all the major streaming services. So be looking out for that as well.
Fantastic. Some great songs, too. Daryl McCall's on here with you. Of course, you did a duet with Justin Trevino and Eddie Raven, Bermuda Shorts. I love that one. Marty Rabin, Mama's Rockin' Chair. We talked about that before. I know you'd had that out on another album, too. And I love that song. And
Marty's a great friend. I'm so blessed, Scott, as I know you are, to have friends that are just willing to help you out.
Oh, yeah. And I pinch myself sometimes, when I get to talk to these people, especially you mentioned Jeannie C. Riley. My gosh, I've had some of the best conversations. And Margie Singleton. I mean, that right there, Margie is, to me, just as near and dear as it gets,
I can't say enough about Margie. I mean, Margie has been really, we all call her Tennessee Mama, but she's been in my corner from the second I met her.
Yep, same here.
And you talk about somebody, and she could have been a superstar had she just had the right people around her. And I mean, she was a star for sure, but she could have, in my opinion, been just as big as any other Hall of Fame female country artist today. She just didn't get the credit she deserved.
Yeah.
But I mean, as a songwriter, and she wrote that song, "Leaving Tracks on My Mind." She wrote that song, and she suggested to me and said, "Yeah, that would make a great duet song."
Yeah.
But as a songwriter, writing hits from everybody from Brooke Benton has cut her songs, Clyde McPhatter, Tammy Wynette, and the list goes on
Gene
and
Watson,
on and on.
Yeah.
And having hit songs with herself, duets with George Jones, Baron Young, and her husband, late husband, Leon Ashley. Just what all of that aside, she is just one of the sweetest people that anyone would ever meet.
Yep.
She and I have the same birthday month, so coming up in October, she will be 89, and still going. She has some mobility issues these days, but her mind's still sharp, and she's still writing, singing.
Oh, she sings beautiful. You're going to hear the song tonight, and she sounds just so beautiful. She doesn't sound her age, I guess is the best way to put it. She's got she's taken good care of her voice. And I just love her. I haven't announced this publicly, and I don't think she has either. But she is writing a book, or has it pretty well written, and I'm going to help her finish it. And I am
so glad that you are. We've been trying to, all of her friends have been trying to find some way to get this done for her, and I know that you will take the torch and see it through. And it's so great. I know that she had all of us, her close friends, write a little something, and submit it. And you probably have all of that. I think even Ray Stevens submitted something. So it's going to be a real cool thing. When it gets out there, her story needs to be told.
Oh, absolutely. She's got so much history.
It really does. She's got an amazing story.
Yeah.
And God's just done so much in her life. And I just can't say enough about my Tennessee Mama. And if you're listening, Mama, we love you.
We love you, Margie. That is for sure. Well, Joe Rucker's new album, folks, is available at heartoftexasrecords.com, hillbillyhits.com, and we'll put that information on our Facebook page. It's the Duet Sessions, Taking a Walk with Friends. I love this album, and Joe, I want to thank you for taking time to be on my show, but I also want to thank you for carrying that torch and making that flame just really burn bright with this fabulous country music and all these great people you've got on this project.
Thank you so much, Scott. And again, it takes, in the words of Buck Owens, it takes people like you to make people like us. So thank you for your contribution as well.
Well, it's my honor, brother, and it's an honor to play these great songs. Folks, check these great songs out from Joe Rucker, and make sure you pick up a copy of this fantastic album, Taking a Walk. And by the way, Joe, I love the cover, and I noticed you even got the ringwear on there for the record. I love that.
Yes, a lady by the name of Kimberly Manning came up with that concept, and she's just awesome. Now, my daughter, Carolyn McKinney, she actually took the photo.
Oh, wow.
But Kimberly Manning, she is the creative mind around the whole album design, and she's just fantastic.
I love that. Yeah, being the record nerd, I noticed that right away.
Right. Everybody comments about that. We're all record hounds, so we know about that ringwear, don't we?
You betcha. We love it, man. All right. Here's some great music. Heart of Texas Records, Joe Rucker, as we continue with My Kind of Country. Joe, thanks again.
Thank you.